I am interviewing Steve Sharp, speaker, facilitator, advisor. He supports leaders to sharpen their game and build high performing cultures. I just want to thank you, Steve, for coming on and talking with me. We're talking a lot about discretionary effort and how one brings their whole self to work. What was a poignant insight that you had that helped lead you to move your focus to that culture you lead as opposed to the bottom lines, the outputs, other measurables?
So I spent 20 odd years in banking and finance on the retail banking side. I worked my way up the corporate ladder, and it was in the latter time in retail banking where I really got to understand the impact of organizational culture on performance. And one of the musings I had in organizations, the main focus tends to be on the technical and commercial aspects of business. Most of the meetings that you have, most of the conversations you have, and most of the focus goes on, the systems and the processes, on the commercial outcomes, the KPIs, the bottom line, all of those types of things. Not a lot of conversations and not a lot of energy and effort is put into how good is the environment we are creating for people to operate at their best. And one of the conclusions that I came to, which is a bit cliche, but if organizations get the environment right, if their focus is on the environment, and it's what I call curating the environment, then what tends to happen is the technical and commercial aspects of business take care of themselves. People feel like they can come to work and be themselves. People feel like they can come to work, be supported, have vulnerable conversations. They can put their hand up and ask for help. They can admit mistakes. They can operate at their best, and they have a deep sense of belonging to the place. And I'm really passionate about it because I've seen environments where people feel that sense of belonging and feel like there's a high level of trust in the place. And the performance of those teams is exceptional comparatively to the environments where people don't feel like that.
You mentioned the silver bullet for organizational culture. And actually, there's this real thing around this discretionary effort and this ability for people to feel trust and the power of vulnerability to be able to bring your whole self.
Yeah, and I think that, discretionary effort is the silver bullet or the holy grail for all organizations. When I'm presenting to people and running my leadership programs, I ask people to reflect on their experience and reflect on a time where they were in an environment where they were not willing to give their discretionary effort and compare that to an environment where they were, right? And bring up those feelings because there's a vast chasm between the two. And discretionary effort's not something that you can get out of people. The only person that has the choice to give their discretionary effort is the person. And that's what I also say to leaders is individuals will always have the choice of who they follow, irrespective of whether they report to you in a structure or not. Nathaniel Fink, in his book called One Bullet Away, calls it moral authority versus legal authority. And he tells a story about when they were in combat, he had to maintain moral authority with his troops because legal authority doesn't work. Just because he's the lieutenant doesn't mean his troops will follow him. And so creating an environment and being able to maintain moral authority over people, i.e. they choose to follow you, is critical in organizations.
Humility defines heroes.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because I love that. I think it goes back to that concept of, servant leadership and building that
Yes.
authority.
A lot of the sharpened themes I developed was through failure more than anything, James. I think you learn much more from failures. And I was that driven, ambitious 20-something guy who had plenty of ego. But I think as you age and as you learn from your triumphs and your mistakes, you really learn that ego is the devil. I think Simon Sinek said it in a video that he did on trusting teams, which is, as a leader, you're not in charge of people. You have to take care of people in your charge. The ability to manage your own ego and listen, I think, is critical.
And if folks want to connect with you, the best website, the best email?
Yeah, so the best email is stevesharp.com.au. So if you head there, it's my motivational speaking website. The other one is culture360.com.au. And my email is steve@stevesharp.com.au. So yeah, drop me a line. Mobile number 0478 881 832.
That's great. Thank you so much for spending time with me, Steve. I really appreciate it. I've always admired your work since the first time I saw you on LinkedIn. And I thought, that's a man I want to stay in contact with.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the feeling is mutual. And
Uh,
hopefully we can do a lot more work in the future together.